Maybe I need to hit go live. God damn. Okay. I know what happened. Can you guys see me now? So I usually do. Okay. So here's hello. Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm James and also the Brink. Year one. Blah, 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 blah. Here's what happened. I'm gonna have to redo everything again. I don't know if it's gonna record it. It is on YouTube and also on me. YouTube has this weird thing, and what I do is I go and create a new go live from here, and then I go live on my, and I usually do it in the future, like a couple hours before. And there's the streams, the enable auto start was not selected. So when I connect and everything, it's supposed to auto start. It doesn't until I hit the go live button right here. And that's a feature that I don't normally work with. I usually, when you create a new live event, you can copy the password. I always do that, except for today, where I went live right at 9 or 8 technically for me. So I'm glad you guys are here. I don't know if any of the stuff I just talked about, so we can kind of just pretend like that didn't happen. We can talk about it and actually do it now. So first up, I was chatting with chat thinking that they could hear me. I was chatting with you guys. Let's go through and welcome everyone. Welcome. Wolf, Spellgood, Quiltzer, that Castmith for you. Welcome, Satanic, Andre, and anyone else that pops in that's not in chat. Yes, this is one of the big things I was talking about. So, you know me, I like to experiment and everything like that. That's why I did the stream and everything today the way I did it. But I don't like to experiment more than the people that made Borderlands, because the people that made Borderlands, this movie, are experimenting like crazy. So we're going to go over a couple of things that I've noted. I love Borderlands, by the way. Now, would I say anything I love, I'm not the quintessential thing when it comes to like lore and all that. There's people that are just more tismed than I am, I guess, when it comes to retaining information that they can always quote and everything. Welcome, Raichi. Mad Max movie was a masterpiece. I agree with that. This is not going to be that. And I am very forgiving person. I'm going to go see it still. Satanic can't be any more cringe than Borderlands 3, at least. You might not like my answer. I actually liked Borderlands 3. I thought Borderlands 3 was really good, besides the main antagonists, and I think the main antagonists are just Gen Zers, so twins, whatnot. I think it could have been better antagonists, but I think everything else was really good when it comes to Borderlands 3. In fact, Borderlands 3 had some flushed out parts to it that were better than 2. So, Spellgood, I've been out for a while for any movies coming out of big studios. I haven't seen a good one in years. I'm pretty forgiving. Like if it's fun, okay, my favorite is horror or comedy. If you can do something that's like horror, I do like it. If you do something comedy, I'm going to probably like it. If you do something that's action-based that has a little bit of a comedic relief to it, I'm going to like it. Anything that's too action-heavy these days, I tend to not care about as much. Like the Jason Bourne stuff, or just pretty much anything. Like James Bond maybe can get me into it. I just don't like what's-his-face as much. Satanic, game was fun. The dialogue was horror. I didn't think the dialogue was too bad. But I do think the antagonists were pretty bad. But that's just me. Like, I enjoyed it. Am I going to go back to it over 2? No. I'm going to go back to 2 before I go back to anything else. That Smith, for you, grouting movies, the only ones I'm willing to watch are the How to Train Your Dragon. Oh. Hey, How to Train Your Dragon is not a bad series. I don't know about them doing a live action though. That's gonna weird me out a little. Spell good. Well, they got Kevin in this one, so we know that kind of movie is gonna be like comedy. I don't know what that means. Spell good. I just assume these movies are going to be bad. Call it self-preservation, Alex. Me too, but I was a little hopeful because Borderlands, like, as long as you get the characters are the most important things to get right. Everything else kind of falls in place with it. Like, they could have just not even done Vault Hunting, in my opinion, and still gotten it something. No, they did a high style. They didn't. It's not like Borderlands 1, 2, or 3. What they did is they rebooted the universe, which never goes very well. That's the thing. Very rarely does rebooting a universe from a game to movie adaptation work. The original Mario Brothers movie is the only time it's worked, and it worked for the worst possible reasons because I find it funny. And if you're ever high or anything, like, that movie's amazing or the worst thing ever. Treat it how you want. That game is a masterpiece in just how bad you can make it to make it funny. This Tomb Raiders, honestly, any of the Tomb Raider movies are decent enough. There's plenty, like, Resident Evil movies are decent enough. The problem is they deviate more and more from their source material with the Resident Evil movies. And so, like, the thing is, if they would have stuck to the Resident Evil games instead of going off and doing their own universe, I think it would have been much better. I still enjoyed them. Borderlands, I think I'll enjoy, but I think I am going, and I'm not usually this type of person. I'm not usually the type of person to be super, it's not gatekeepy, but like super fanboy-esque, unless it's like a couple of my top boys. StarCraft, Half-Life, some things that are very nostalgic where I'm like, if you made something like a movie and you really f***ed it up, I'm not going to be happy about this. Here's the thing, Raichi. Uncharted, when it comes to casting, I think was better job than this. The problem with Uncharted is it needed a better cast. I didn't think Tom Holland did a bad job. I just don't think he was like, it would have been good for him to be young Drake and go back and forth with, and there's plenty of people that could have played Nathan Drake, including what's his face from Firefly. He probably would have been the best one. Side Streets, they're making a Fallout show. Yes, that will be an interesting one too. I know people aren't going to like that one for multiple reasons. I don't believe in some of that stuff as much as what people. I'm not going to go into that. I think the Fallout one's going to be interesting. The problem is that you have game writers, you have these writers, you have these stories told in games, and then you have people, these screenwriters for movies and TV shows that think they can, and sometimes they will brag about it, that they can do a better job, and then they always F it up every time. It's really hard to do an adaptation of, like, hey, with Borderlands 2, half the time you're just screwing around anyways. Some of the side quests are really funny. I think if they would have gone and done an adventure where they're like trying to get from point A to point B, but then hit a ton of these weird quests along the way, I think would have been the perfect movie with Borderlands 2. Instead, we got this. And if you really want me to read your comment, you're gonna have to at me at this point because I think a lot of people are talking, and I'm not gonna be able to read everyone's. Okay, so Kate Blanchett is playing Lilith. And here's the problem with this. What's up, Chad? Cat and baby? Welcoming chatters. The problem with Kate Blanchett as Lilith is that I don't think she's a bad actress. She's not the right fit. And there's plenty of people that exude, I think, youth, even no matter what age they're at. And I believe Lilith in Borderlands 1 is like in her 30s, 2 probably 40s, et cetera, kind of going between 30s and 40s here. I don't think we're hitting 50s yet, but like you can definitely tell she's aged, but it's like the cel-shaded styling of Borderlands kind of adds to that. I don't think Kate Blanchett is a good choice for this. We'll watch the trailer and you'll see she just doesn't hit the character, what the character is. It's fiery redhead, that has that, and sorry, got a message. So yeah, she doesn't quite hit that role. In fact, honestly, I think it's a huge miss. There's a lot of other people that would have been just drastically better than Cate Blanchett for this role. I think they could have reprised her role, and she could have been Tannis. Honestly, Jack Black, once again, it's going to be fun. He's going to do a good job in the role, but he's not good for the role. They should have just got the regular voice producer of Claptrap, and it would have been just fine. Instead, they did this weird reworking the character of Claptrap a little bit, and that's been my biggest problem, is that each one of these characters have a persona, and when you're working with stories and working with all these especially single player games or co-op games, and there's like, you have these iconic characters, they essentially have personas to them, who they are, how they would act in certain circumstances, and they just didn't quite hit it. I don't know why they didn't want to do it closer to the game, but they really missed it. Tiny Tina is an easy, hard one. Tiny Tina just has to be freaking crazy as all could be, and they missed it. Also, Susie thinks she does not like Ariana that much, though. And she was kind of annoying. She's the girl in the Barbie movie, the whatever. And she was annoying in that. Her role wasn't, I don't think, written very well in that movie either. In this, I don't think she gets too fearful. She's just meant to be Deus Ex Machina at times. She's also meant to not be like, show too much a different emotion, at least in this one. In the third one, she does in the game. In this, she just kind of like, I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. But it'll be interesting to see how she goes about it. I'm not too complaining about it. I know I'm super analyzing this. But I've played hundreds of hours of Borderlands with Susie, and I just like, this is one of those games where it's on the cusp of like, how do you get it wrong? Sphincter Dude here. Florian, who is this? Okay. He's Creed, Borderlands. Let's see here. But he plays Psycho. Does he even talk in the movie? I don't even know if he talks. We'll watch the trailer soon, though. Don't worry. And then Jamie Lee Curtis is really weird one that she was brought in. I think she's gonna be great as Tannis. Tannis is a very awkward scientist, researcher. Going to be just fine. I think this was a pretty safe one, and honestly, I would have rather have seen an aged Lilith as Jamie Lee Curtis, I think, than Cate Blanchett personally, because I feel like Jamie Lee Curtis exudes a youthful energy. She could just be Grandma Lilith, which I'd be honestly fine with, as opposed to Kate. And then you got the weirdest one, the one that I thought was going to really hurt the movie the most when I heard it. And watching the trailer, I actually think he does fine. Kevin Hart. But the thing is, I like him in comedic roles. I don't like him in serious roles as much. I definitely think The Rock would have been a better choice here, which is weird. It's fine. It's fine. He probably really liked the game and kind of forced his way into it. Okay. Let's watch this trailer. You guys okay? You guys fine? Satanic, they should have gone more Jumanji and got Karen Gillan to play Lilith. 100%. That's, you know what? I think Karen Gillan would have been a perfect choice now that you say that. There's a couple of choices that they could have done really well. I think Karen could have done a good job as Lilith. Yeah, I like that. Well, let's watch the trailer.
Would you look at that? A ladder! Unfortunately, my design doesn't facilitate this type of...
Well, destiny awaits.
See, fine. Claptrap just doesn't feel like Claptrap, but we've had to go through a voice actor change before between 2 and 3, I think. Maybe it was 1 and 2. 2 and 3, I think. Probably maybe in every single one. I don't know. But they've changed the voice actor for Claptrap between some DLCs and games. And I had to get used to that. So with the Jack Black, I can get used to that.
Legend has it that there's this massive treasure hidden in some secret
Watch, I'm going to love this movie. I just know it. I'm going to end up loving this movie even though I'm so critical right now.
vault.
I'm so stupid.
And if you go hunting for it, you'd better take any help you can get. Because it's on the weirdest, most dangerous dumpster fire of a world in the universe.
God, I hate this planet.
Yeah, that shot right there does not help it.
What is that smell? Ew!
Put the window up.
I don't want to! Roll the window up!
It's Pete. It's Pete. Why do you think it's called piss wash? How did it get the name?
It's in my mouth!
Yeah, Tiny Tina. They worked her character. And this is going to demonetize the trailer or the stream, but it is what it is.
Looking for this vault? We have something they don't, baby girl.
Okay, what?
Major issues. Time to make it rain! With your body parts!
What did I tell you?
Minimal
no
explosions.
I said no explosions.
She's missing a character quirk that she just doesn't have right here.
Step aside, bitches!
Ooh, mine's bigger.
Yeah, see, she would never say anything quite like that, I don't think. But
So you
As
for it.
There's only one of you in the world, and you're special.
Uh-oh.
Kill them all.
I do have to say the Moxie choice was probably pretty decent.
What's happening right now?
I'm expelling the excess lead. I can't go if you're looking at me. Actually, scrap that. I can. I really can. Actually, it's helping.
Are we really ready for this to finish?
Keep looking at me.
Albeit, funny joke. It's unfortunate still. Like I said, I will probably end up liking the the movie. It will probably be like a 20% Rotten Tomato, and I'll probably end up liking it. And probably not enough to like buy it, but right now I'm really like just cringing at the trailer and some of the choices that were made in it. Wolf, hello. How's the temperature in Hawaii? Wolf, I wish I was in Hawaii. Lol. It's warmer there. It's gonna warm up, Wolf. In fact, where you live, it's gonna be like pretty much in a month. You're good to go. Looks campy, could be fun. I agree, Andre. That's the thing. When I come to these types of movies, I know a lot of people like just like I'm not gonna enjoy it, whatever. It's on like I'm pretty basic. I like the newest Jurassic World, whatever it was, like the Jurassic World 3. It was garbage fire. Like, I'll admit, it was a bad movie. I enjoyed it, though. I came for dinosaurs, and I got effing dinosaurs. This, though, we'll see how my brain works with it, but I'm coming for, like, some comedic humor and some certain things that are just supposed to slap, and it's not going to have that, so my brain's going to have to be tricked into something else. I do want to watch it, though, because it's Borderlands, but, yeah. Cal, welcome. Raichi, Tom Holland should be the main villain would be hilarious. Satanic. I think the song ruins the trailer. You know what? Satanic. It could be that. I didn't like the song in the trailer either. Curtis. Yeah, it's Jamie Lee Curtis, if that's who you're talking about. Chad. Like, what happened with the Prince of Persia trailer? What happened with the Prince of Persia? Are you talking about? Interesting. I'm curious what you're talking about with the Prince of Persia trailer. I'm glad everyone's doing well, or at least all right. Yeah, so that is the Borderlands game. Yeah. Or movie, I should say, not game. I'm coming for a dumpster fire, and I'm gonna enjoy myself. I'm sorry. I know. Yeah, that's the thing. Pizza's ready. No, the Asian dude in the trailer was Bobby Lee, the comedian. Oh, the Asian dude in the trailer, was he the bad guy, the antagonist? I didn't pay attention well enough at that point. Now I have to go back. You talking about? Oh, are you talking about?
Girl,
Know how many people have died?
Right here. You're talking about right here. Yeah. Is he gonna be what's his face? The arms dealer? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. No, once you said Bobby Lee, I was like, okay, yeah. I was just like, wait, yeah. No, I know. Yeah, I know who Bobby Lee is. But I was like, what are you talking about? I just didn't put two and two together on that. Okay, cool. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Like, there's more to. Here's the thing. I think they showed the worst part of the movie in this trailer. You still have Moxie. You still have a lot of other characters that could save this because they're not going to be cast as superstars. Even though Jamie Lee Curtis is a superstar, she does her roles really well, and I think she was cast well enough. I think for Tana, she's fine. Craig is not going to matter that much, so honestly, as long as he doesn't, like, I guess, talk too much, he's fine too, because he's a psycho. Literally. It's just it's the Cate Blanchett. It just does not work for me, but I'll probably be eating my words in like a little bit on that one. Man, I had been doing this if you guys didn't know this, I was streaming 30 minutes before I actually started. I started at 8:30 when I was supposed to start at 8. I was supposed to hit the go live, and it did not work properly. So let's go over what I was, one of the pieces I was talking about. The Steam Deck gets a 3D printed Ergo. And if you guys have anything, by the way, shoot me in chat if there's any certain topic that's come out recently that you want to talk about. That's kind of what I wanted to do today anyways. And then I found a bunch of stuff while I was doing my self-streaming to myself. But the Steam Deck gets a 3D printed Ergo keyboard dock thanks to some creative modifications and clever clip-on hinged design, which is interesting. So you got the key in question is the split ergonomic design, a typing device available as a kit that's been given its very own 3D printed frame thanks to a custom design. Blah, blah, blah. This right here, sure, whatever, allow. Yeah, it's just like full clamshell everything. It folds in. It kind of just looks kind of weird, but it's a folding keyboard. You gotta get this, which Corn keyboard is split keyboard with blah. Can you just buy these outright? Thinking you have to get, this has to be explicitly purchased, but yeah, you got this keyboard that's a split keyboard. Satanic, has Legion Go improved? I don't know. I'm not following it. I'm probably not going to follow Legion Go for another few months. Maybe I'll pick one up again and try a new one, but we'll see. Because that is another thing I've been needing to do a video on. I've really dropped the ball, but to be fair, I was getting over strep and I was in a lot of pain from my throat. I wouldn't have been able to do a very long video. But the MSI Claw is not looking good. We can look at the stuff, in fact. Let's do that in a second. But you got this. So if you have a Steam Deck, you want a folding keyboard. It's a little chunky, but there you go. You got yourself like a folding tablet, keyboard, whatever, which is I'm not the biggest fan of this type of split keyboard, as I'm just not used to the ergonomic style keyboard, but yeah. Raichi, Star Wars Battlefront Collection, the 4 Xbox games going to other platforms officially announced Steam update. Yes. You need to put some commas in there. This is all one. Here's the rule of thumb, Satanic, with the Legion Go. Expect it to get a little better every month. Until we hear otherwise, I do think they're working on it and they want to stay in the game. But we'll see. We'll see. The Claw. Yes, the Claw. The Claw. So yeah, there's the keyboard. So if you have a Steam Deck, you've been wanting to do like a laptop Steam Deck style mod for it, there you go. I personally would not touch that with a 10-foot pole. I don't do enough typing on my Steam Deck. But if you primary a Steam Deck, maybe. Oh yeah, then let's see. We'll talk about the MSI Claw in a second. Nintendo Switch 2 is delayed till next year. It's been rumored, but honestly, it's sounding more and more like it's going to be delayed until Q1 of 2025. A lot of internal notes going to third parties or other parties that are doing games, letting them know that the release is not happening. Have you heard of stenography? Stenography, yeah. Stenography is just like freaking writing. The art and process of writing shorthand. Yes. But then you also have stenographers that can write in shorthand or write notes and stuff like that for legal stuff. Okay. Switch 2. I don't need to dive too much into this. I did it already once by myself. Is coming out. I'm almost pretty sure it's going to come out Q1 2025. I think there was some issues, maybe first-party games related, maybe hardware related. I honestly think it's more. I think they have the hardware down. I bet you it's got to do with the game side of things, their first-party platform. So we'll find out in June because it sounds like they'll announce the Switch 2 in June, which makes sense that they would launch it in, let's say, March next year. Raichi, the Claw is our master. The Claw chooses who will go and who will stay. Oh my gosh. Well, it is not the master here because it has got horrible. Yeah. We'll get to these topics in a little bit, but let's cover the MSI Claw real quick. This is another one. Here it is. Video cards. That customer for you, I was meaning stenography typing on a computer. No, I have not. I mean, yeah, I've heard of a bunch of different types of inputs. Oh, looks like we're getting some Victoria's Secrets ads coming on in. I even have an ad block, but it's not apparently working on this page. You know what I look at all day. Okay, so MSI Claw versus Asus ROG Ally, and it's the extreme. It's the better of the two versions because each one has a lower end version. Doesn't make makes sense to me. It's not looking good, guys. Now, I will say the saving grace with this, I want to see with the battery life, the true battery life. Because you can tell me TDP all you want all day long, but I want to know true battery life. Because the MSI Claw has a bigger battery. I want to know if I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077 at a pretty beastly speed, what's the, like, am I going to get an extra half hour? It might be worth it if it was playable, but let's see. So with the MSI Claw versus the Asus ROG Ally, they're doing 1600 by 900 with FSR and all low quality, blah, blah, blah. The MSI Claw comes in at 44 and the ROG Ally comes in at 59. Because it's a mobile, I would not be maxing out that TDP. I'd be messing around with these settings and getting that to around 40. Just because I do think you're just asking for more power wasted than's needed for that type of game. If you're plugged in all the time, 60 is fine. 60 is awesome. But you can see, like, that's a 15 FPS. That's a 25% difference in performance on that game. That's really, really big. Now, that's max TDP. Now, if we go to Shadow of Tomb Raider, and we go to high quality presets, blah, 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 this is where the Intel chip really struggles. When you're limiting that TDP, it struggles hard. 15 watt TDP, which is what the Steam Deck does, 24 as opposed to 42. And then it starts to even out a little bit. The more power you give that Intel chip, the better it does, which is pretty interesting. Red Dead Redemption 2, max TDP. Once again, max TDP is like, it's a little maybe much. It's a little extreme on some of these games to do max TDP, but they want to measure performances. Meaning you would probably, especially if you're battery based, probably be running that a little lower, obviously, than max TDP. Balances like me with Tony Hawk, I will run it at a 15 watts, and it runs really good. It runs quite a bit better than the Steam Deck. And the D-pad I think is better than the Steam Deck on the ROG Ally. I really like my ROG Allies right here. My Steam Deck's upstairs next to my bed. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2, 59's not bad, and 60. Resident Evil, which Resident Evil is this? I'm assuming it's like Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil 2, maybe 7. Max TDP, because I couldn't imagine it being like the original, like the remake. You can play on Steam Deck or on Steam, but I don't think it would get this bad of performance. Low quality FSR 2.1. It gets with the TDP, max TDP is a drastic change. So you can see it fluctuates between 21 and 53, 51 and 68. So the fluctuation on the MSI Claw. What this is telling me in some cases that this is probably driver issues. Like this right here, when you get a fluctuation like this with the numbers, it means that we need to wait and see with drivers. So when the MSI Claw comes out, don't be too surprised that it's going to get royally effed by ROG Ally, and it's almost a year later. But AMD's been in this game for a while. Honestly, I'd like to see the MSI Claw do well. I want to see Intel enter this game. I'd love to see NVIDIA, Intel, and AMD enter this game and just have to compete. But at the end of the day, I think AMD just has such a step up in the APU department that it's just, I don't know if the other two are going to have any good claws in them for another year or two. Backwards compatibility is just a little bit better. SteamOS is going to be better supported on an AMD APU as opposed to an Intel or something else. So, yeah, all this really tells me is that the MSI Claw is not as good. But the two things that don't show here is true battery drainage and true battery usage, that is, and what will drivers look like. Intel doesn't have the best drivers for their video cards, And so, yeah, I think we're about to see drivers, and these numbers could change greatly between now and then. But it comes out April 1st, I believe. They don't. It's such a weird release date. Main video, huh?
大家好，我是小峰。本期视频是新年最后一
你
更
好，
新年伊始，祝所有水友龙年大吉，所有的梦想都能。
Damn. Oh, this is an unboxing and everything. What? Did they just like... I'll have to admit, some parts of this, the MSI Claude does look better. Wow, this is really in depth. Is this what you guys want? You hardware nerds only want one thing. It's effing disgusting. Everything to be exposed with these handhelds now. Yeah, I'm not going to go into this too much. I'm just curious. Like, huh. It's so interesting. Does it show some of the software? It does. It looks like it's going to be semi-similar to Armory. Okay. That's not that bad. We'll see. It seems responsive. Andre, good night, all too sleepy. Good night, Andre. Thanks for sticking out this long. Raichi, LG Gram laptop team designer work on a handheld would be awesome. That would be interesting. Coulter, exception of Nintendo, every gaming system uses AMD chips. Exactly. When it comes to the APU game, like if I think if Nvidia would have stuck with their APU a while ago, like when they did their whole thing with the clamshell controller stuff like over a decade ago, I think if they would have stuck with that more, I think Nvidia would be forced to be reckoned with in this realm. But to be fair, they're worth a lot more. Like Nvidia's worth a lot nowadays because they've got so much of their hooks in the AI and like business to business that is, yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. I think the software that's coming on this is looking interesting. I think it is looking promising. It looks better than the Legion Go's, but I'm not sure. Tegra, you're right. Okay, cool, sir. Thank you. Yes, the Tegra is what's in the Tegra some X. Now I'm trying to. Oh my god, Z1. Because that's like the Z1 Extreme, but like it's the Tegra something. But yeah, the Tegra is that came out forever ago in the tablet and handheld or controller form. Big old thing that came out forever ago. Then it was modified and put into Switch. And that's why Switch is working with really old tech, but it still manages to keep up okay to this day. It's really good, like amazing tech. I'm surprised they didn't keep up with it. They could have done a lot with it. We'll see. Yeah. Raichi, they managed to play Steam games on the Switch. Yes. They got Steam working and kind of on the Switch. I wouldn't say it's fully there. Nerdified, have you played Helldivers 2? Playing it on the Legion Go plays decent, but even better with lossless scaling. Interesting. I'll be honest, I have not yet done so. I have the budget for this month because I have a bunch of crap going on the next few months. I've given myself a budget. I'm waiting for Helldivers 2's issues to go away, and I'm going to play Helldivers 2. I don't really have anyone to play it with. I think it'd be kind of fun to do it as a server, but that's just another game for people to buy. But I do plan on getting Helldivers 2 at one point in the next month or two. But for sure, the games I'm going to be getting are, and we'll get into this other stuff here in a second. Come on. Wait, why is it not showing my card? Did you clear my card? Okay. Games-wise, these are what I'm looking at for this month. Pacific Drive is going to be... I'm waiting to see if I'm going to get a key. I might get a key. I might not. I might have... honestly, requesting too late sometimes doesn't get you a key. Nightingale is one... I know that it's mixed reviews, but I am really excited for this one. Banishers Ghosts of New Eden's getting good praise. Helldivers 2 is just getting praise at the wazoo. It's Super Troopers. It's... I can never get this right. It's Starship Troopers, but video game, and I'm all for that. And the original Helldivers was good. But yes, Banishers has got an 800 out of, a very positive score. It's looking kind of like, it's an action adventure, a story-based game. I'm all here. I'm here for it. Compatibility-wise on the Steam Deck, it seems like it's compatible. It's just some in-game text is small and maybe difficult to read, which it's never fully stopped me on this type of thing. I am curious performance-wise, but beyond that, I don't think it looked like the most demanding game out there. And I really like the idea of the story and everything. So I think this is in my top picks for this month, is Banishers. But oh my gosh, what is going on? Nightingale is up there. Is going to be one that I'll probably buy soon. Yes, they've been having server issues too, so I'm like, I don't want to buy it and then be frustrated. So I'm going to buy it sooner than later and play it with Susie. But I will be streaming this on twitch.tv/th3brink. I'll be streaming this on Twitch. Pacific Drive. I really like this. I played the demo. It was a really fun game. I had a fun time. So one way or another, this is the game I'm going to be picking for the month. Which Wolf will be happy because this was her pick of the month too. And then Banishers, Nightingale, those are like my three top. Helldivers is going to come soon. I just need, if I don't have anyone to play with, begging me to play it right now, I will pick it up and then find someone to play with later. Some of these, if I can't get them this month, I'll get them next month. Okay, let's go back to chat. Let's see here. Raichi, they discovered the PS Portal has 6 gigs of RAM. That makes sense. I'm not surprised. That seems like plenty for streaming. If it's managed properly with Android, it's fine. So they'll have some that goes into the Android operating system. That's probably bare bones, and then the rest is just resources designed to carry the stream, right? And yeah. Wolf, if you're a troll, learn to spell. Sniped him out of, yeah, right? Yeah, I was wondering about that one, Wolf. You did good. Raichi, in Nightingale, you wonder why the skinwalkers are hiding. They tell you they are hiding from the skin runners. That is hilarious, Raichi. So, one of the cool things you can do in Nightingale is that it's a survival game. Very different. It's from a core group of Mass Effect developers split off and made this Nightingale, which is very weird. But you use cards, maybe tarot cards or something similar, because it's a fantasy-based game, to build your world. And if you do, I think it's kind of like a Joker type of card. and it can switch up your resources, what you get. So if you're like chopping down a tree, meat might be coming out. So you got some weird stuff coming with the cards based system with Nightingale. So, and it's a work in progress. I think some people that are reviewing it like it was not an early access, and I think a lot of early access games that have come out this year have been baller and have a lot of content, just bugs, which don't be surprised. I mean, you're going to get bugs with early access. Yeah. Nerdified, have you tried lossless scaling? I don't think so. This, I have not. That's interesting. I've seen some of this. Interesting. It's just, yeah, it's a type of, frame generation, almost like anti-aliasing and stuff like that. Interesting. Yeah, bilinear. Yeah, bizarre. Weird. I'll have to look into this tool some more, but yeah, I've not used that tool much. Kind of stay away from some of those tools. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much every Xbox game is going to be not truly exclusive, and will be on PlayStation. A lot of games will be on PlayStation. Vice versa, Sony's coming out with a bunch of games for Sony or for PC. So nothing. The exclusivity is widening it up because they were realizing, you know what, we can make a lot more money if we don't just release on one platform. So, as far as the Star Wars Battlefront collection. Raichi, lossless is good to force full screen some apps. Ooh, that could be very useful for a couple apps. I don't think Foam Stars did very well, by the way, guys. This will be an interesting one. The Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection is going to be a very interesting one. Comes out, Massive Battles returns on March 14th. Yeah, Star Wars Battlefront 1, 2. 2 right here is not the 2 that we know of. This is one that people loved. And it'll be interesting to see this. Is this has it been remastered in any way? Or is it just a re-release? Interesting. Two-player split screen is included, and it feels like an offline blast from the past. Yeah, I am excited to play this. I didn't play it a whole lot. But I do know that my brother-in-laws are going to probably be flipping out over this because they played this growing up a lot. Wolf, yes, Pacific Drive comes out tomorrow. I won't be streaming it tomorrow. I'll be streaming it Monday or Friday. I would think about streaming it tomorrow, but I've been prototyping my game, and so I'm still working on some game development. I know the basics, and I've done basic game development, but like some of the advanced stuff I'm doing with my game is that I need to learn more about water fluidity inside of Unreal Engine, allowing water to fill up a chamber and disperse out, and how it will look drainage wise too. Like, see if I can get a drain sucking in and like it look like all the waters is getting sucked out by the drainage system. So I'll probably spend some time on that tomorrow. I will start. I'll do the announcement at the end of this stream, like normal. Raichi, 2 games for Nintendo and 2 games for the PlayStation. Exactly, for the Confederacy of Independent Systems. There you go. Cool, sir. The future is AI-capable chips. There's no more power to be squeezed out of the GPU, APU, CPU, so AI frame generation is the next step. That's not necessarily true, Raichi, or Coolzer. There's still some tech and still some die shrinkage they can do in certain areas. We are pretty much close. Like, it's in my opinion, we're very close. is that I do think you're right. I think they started these AI or generative and tooling to help, because the next step is like a huge change into either like quantum chips and gaming, which that is not, I don't even know if that will ever happen. Coulter, I don't know if quantum is going to happen for gaming, potentially. Not in the way that we think of it, because the way you have to program in quantum programming is very, very complex. With it's the way that it does directional ones and zeros, but yeah, it will be interesting to see. They're gonna have to. It's just what will probably happen is that we're gonna probably hit 2 or 3 nanometers. It's where we're going to call it for a long, long, long time, and other pieces of tech are going to get involved, including AI. I think it's going to be I don't think AI is the only thing. I think AI is, honestly, if anything, over the past 2 years has been a little overblown, but I do think we're going to get incremental ticks. So we'll see. Raichi, TC, there is a lot of power to squeeze. Look what Sony and Nintendo did with the PS4 and PS5 and the Switch. Agreed. I think we have software that needs to shore up. We have hardware that needs to shore up. We have a lot of things to where we can get it to almost be realistic, whether we want that or not. The next true step is getting good performance in VR, AR, other experiences. What is the truly next step of gaming? So they fine-tuned a lot of these. So like Nintendo, Sony, their engines are heavily fine-tuned, and the way they build games are very I think you'd be surprised at how sloppy game or level designers and game developers can get sometimes when you go and look at some of the games that are made, and where they'll make this huge slope, but there's another part of the slope that they just don't get rid of that's rendered in. So there's a lot of sloppiness that happens. Will be interesting to see where everything goes. They did, Raichi, but they had to sacrifice a lot for Hogwarts Legacy for the Switch, from my understanding. Optimization can only go so far. We need both. Optimizing is much harder than people realize, especially if you've got targets and stuff. Yes, sloppiness, just like under yes, exactly. No, sloppiness is a thing in game development. If you're not handling and optimizing along the way, it gets sloppy, and things like you got lots of extra renders happening that can hurt the performance. There's also event render loops that aren't cleaned up properly, can cause a lot of this stuff. But we've seen what the best can do, which there's some really good games that look really good, but there's still better that can be done. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Honestly, I'm really curious. Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us 2 look great. Ghost of Tsushima looks good. Last of Us 2 is on a whole other level. I'll be honest. Last of Us 2 is one of the best looking games. Raichi, Chad Crytek made Rise Son of the Rome in 2013. Agreed. And it looked good. Looked really good. No, the thing is, with a lot of detail comes a lot of development. I don't think people realize that like some detailed games where it looks super detailed takes tons of manpower. Like with my game, I'm going to try to make it look as detailed as possible, but it ain't going to be The Last of Us 2. I just don't like that's going to take me years to do by myself, where I want my game to take about a year to develop. Okay, so we're pretty much done for tonight. I know it was only an hour technically recorded, but we hit a lot of good stuff. Let's see. Xbox games going to other platforms, which we kind of talked about. Officially announced Steam. Oh, wait, what's the Steam update? Did I miss something? Like, was there a major update that happened? Oh my gosh. Well, I'm not off yet. Oh, are you off, Rachie? If you're off, then have a good night, man. Yeah, that's new Steam update looks awful. I don't know what they're talking about. Oh well. Natcast Smith, for you, have you heard of the game called Hydroneer? I have not. Oh. Is it like an excavator game where you can build stuff with a tractor and then like pump it? Looks interesting. Did this come out recently? No, it came out like years ago. Dang. There's so many games out there. This is ridiculous. Wow, I've never heard of this game, and this has got a lot of reviews. Okay. I don't know if you guys saw, I released the newest episode of the podcast yesterday. Or yesterday for members, today for regulars. I am curious, guys. I need your help. I know, and I come to this every 6 months, 3 months. I'm toying around with like the most sustainable thing for me. I'm going to be getting a hold of more people to do interviews for on the Games Revealed podcast. I'm assuming you guys who's ever watching does want to see like interesting people that I interview or talk to. But I want to do game developers. I want to do YouTubers, and all that. So I think I don't know how I'm going to do the podcast, but I think I'm going to be doing more of that again. I was going to be doing that. Solar, very sustainable. Solar is very sustainable. The problem is it just depends on how the Earth reacts. If you ever get a dark winter or like a super volcano launched, then it's not as effective. Okay. So, yeah, podcast-wise, I don't know if I'm going to split it up into two, but for now, I think I'm just going to have fun and just invite people on and do stuff with the podcast. I'm going to have to figure out ways to get a hold of people. I've tried it in the past. It's worked on and off well. But as much as I like doing it with Susie, I think we're going to try to get away from that a little bit more, partially because I want to do a different podcast with her that's history-oriented or games history-oriented, where she shines and that type of stuff. So podcast-wise, if I go this route where I don't use Susie as much, give it a couple of months, it'll be a little rocky as I get people, and then hopefully it will smooth out over time. I will be doing, on the Brink channel, more devlog updates, so keep an eye out for that soon. And then I am deciding on how I'm handling hardware and games on this channel, as I like talking about both. I don't want to really mess around with two different channels, but I just noticed that like certain videos do better than others, and it hurts a lot of things if I don't get good viewership on some videos and other videos don't do. Like if some do really well, some don't. If I do too much of those don't, less and less people get recommended it, even though they watch my stuff. So just a heads up. I'm going to be doing a lot of game development, a lot of behind the scenes games, and exploring with content for the next few months. So keep an eye on that. As am getting better, I have some trips, but we'll be having some fun. So you guys keep it so good, so amazing. And I honestly have really enjoyed this trip. I just want to get into a sustainable rhythm again, where I can be releasing tons of videos and fun videos and interesting videos, but also, not boring, hopefully. So, but ultimately, I am going to be working really hard to get this game to a technical point that this year is my goal. Once I get better with certain things, then we'll do hackathons and stuff like that together, but on my other channel. But That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sticking around. I don't know if there's anything else. I mean, if add it to the comments, let me know in Discord. You guys are awesome. Thanks for sticking around. And you know what? Keep it classy. You always do. Peace out. Later, guys.